Okay, hello everyone. So sebelum ni kita sudah belajar pasal initiation of heartbeat, chapter 8 transport system. So kali ni kita akan belajar tentang cardiac cycle. Okay, so cardiac cycle, the second learning outcomes for 8.1. Cardiac cycle ni basically adalah sequence of events that takes place during one complete heartbeat. Maksudnya, dalam satu complete heartbeat tu, ada event-event yang berlaku. So, the sequence of event that take place during one complete heartbeat, itu kita panggil sebagai cardiac cycle. So, untuk one complete heartbeat, one complete sequence of heartbeat, dia consists of alternate contraction and relaxation of the heart. Okay, so basically, dalam satu complete sequence of heartbeat ni, dia consist of alternate, so dorang bersilih ganti, contraction. Waktu contraction akan berlaku pumping of blood, and relaxation. So waktu relaxation akan berlaku filling of the heart with blood. Okay, so contraction kamu akan nampak nama lainnya systole. Okay, systole tu maksudnya contraction lah. Okay, so waktu contraction, waktu heart chambers undergo contraction, heart akan pumps blood. Okay, so waktu dia undergo relaxation, diastole, heart chambers akan fill with blood. Okay, so untuk cardiac cycle, dia ada 3 phase, 3 stages. So, phase yang pertama, kita ada atrial and ventricular diastole. Maksudnya, phase yang pertama, both atria dengan ventricle relax. Okay, itu akan occur selama 0.4 second. And then yang phase kedua, kita ada atrial systole, ventricular diastole. So, at the second phase, atria will undergo contraction, ventricle will undergo relaxation. So that will occur for 0.1 seconds. Okay, and the last stage, we have ventricular systole, atrial diastole. So, during this phase, ventricle will contract, atria will relax. So, this one occur for 0.3 seconds. Okay, so this one adalah complete sequence of events that take place during one complete heartbeat. Okay, so one complete heartbeat will take about 0.8 second. Alright, so for a human at rest, bila human tengah berehat, average heartbeat rate is about 72 beats per minute. Okay, at 0.8 second per beat. Okay, so one complete cardiac cycle, satu complete cardiac cycle will take around 0.8 second. So 0.42 atrial ventricular relax, 0.1 second atrial contract, ventricle relax, 0.3 second ventricle will contract, atrial will relax. So total satu complete heartbeat or one complete cardiac cycle will take 0.8 second. Alright, so this one summary-nya lah. Okay. Okay, so kita tengok setiap event dekat cardiac cycle. So we are going to start with atrial contract, ventricle relax. Okay. So you learn before this, dekat initiation of heartbeat, SA naught akan generate electrical impulse. And impulse tu akan spread across both atria. Okay, so during atrial systole, ventricle diastole, impulse akan spread across both atria. Impulse ni datang daripada SA naught. Okay, so bila impulse spread across both atria akan contract. Alright, and then both ventricles akan relax. Okay, so during this time, bila atria contract, atrial pressure akan increase. And ventricle pressure, sebab dia tengah relax, ventricular pressure akan decrease. So, dia punya key ialah bila atrial pressure higher than ventricular pressure. Okay, so when atrial pressure is higher than ventricular pressure, AV valve akan open. Okay, and vice versa. Kalau ventricle lebih besar daripada atrial pressure, AV valve akan close. Okay, so remember that one. Atrial pressure higher than ventricular pressure, AV valve will open. Okay, so during this phase, semilunar valve akan remain closed. Alright, so all the remaining blood daripada atria tu will be pumped into the ventricles. So volume in ventricle will increase as blood moves in. So this stage takes about 0.1 second. Alright. Okay, so kita continue dengan second phase. Second phase, ventricular systole, atrial diastole. So during this phase, ventricle akan contract, atria akan relax. So tadi impulse daripada SA node spread across both atria. So atria contract, ventricle relax. So sekarang impulse tu spread across both ventricle. Alright, so you learn about this one in initiation of heartbeat. Daripada SA node, dia go to both atria and then they go to AV node. Okay, daripada AV node, dia akan spread across both ventricle. So, bila impulse spread across both ventricles akan contract while both atria akan relax. Okay, so bila ventricle contract, atria relax, waktu ni ventricle pressure akan increase, atrial pressure akan decrease. Alright, so remember the key. Bila ventricle pressure lebih tinggi daripada atrial pressure, AV valve akan close. Okay, AV valve akan close untuk prevent blood from flowing back into the atria. So, bila AV valve tu tertutup, blood tu dia akan recoil. Dia akan recoil against the closed AV valve. So, dia langgar AV valve tu producing the loop sound. Okay, so itulah bunyi yang kamu dengar first. Okay, loop sound. The first heart sound terjadi bila AV valve close. And the blood recoil against the closed AV valve. Alright, so waktu ni semilunar valve will open. So, ventricle contract, dia akan pump blood daripada ventricle into the aorta and pulmonary arteries. So, left ventricle, okay, yang left akan pump blood into aorta. Yang right ventricle akan pump blood into pulmonary arteries. So blood akan starts to flow from vena cava and pulmonary vein into atria. So this process takes about 0.3 second. Okay. So fasa yang ketiga dalam cardiac cycle, both atria dengan ventricle akan relax. So atrial and ventricular diastole. So during this time, both atria and ventricle will relax. And pressure in aorta and pulmonary arteries are higher than ventricular pressure. Okay, so bila pressure dekat aorta dengan pulmonary artery lebih tinggi daripada ventricular pressure, semilunar valve will close. Okay, sebab tadi remember ventricle dia sudah pump blood ke aorta dengan pulmonary artery. So untuk prevent the backflow of blood, semilunar valve akan close. So prevent blood from flowing back into the ventricles. So bila semilunar valve close, blood tu dia akan recoil against the semilunar valve yang close tu. Dia akan recoil against the closed semilunar valve, so producing the dupe sound. Okay, dupe ni adalah the second heart sound. So bila atria relax, blood dekat vena cava dengan pulmonary vein akan masuk ke dalam right atrium dan left atrium respectively. So blood from the vena cava will flow into the right atrium, blood from pulmonary vein will flow into the left atrium. Alright, so AV valve will open. Okay, so some of the blood, about 70% of blood akan flows from atria into the ventricle. So this process takes about 0.4 seconds. Okay. Alright, itu sahaja untuk cardiac cycle. So remember cardiac cycle, kita ada 3 phase. Phase yang pertama, kita ada atrial and ventricular diastole. takes about 0.4 second. Yang kedua, kita ada atrial contract, atrial systole, ventricular diastole. Okay, so this one take about 0.1 second. And the last one, we have ventricular systole, atrial diastole. So waktu ni ventricle contract, atrial akan relax. Alright, okay, so I think that's all. Thank you.